You've been setting your tire pressure wrong your entire life, and it's costing you money, destroying your tires, and making your car handle like garbage. Here's the 2026 update. Cars are heavier, wheels are larger, and manufacturers still print one simple number on the door as if every driver uses their vehicle the same way. If you're blindly following that sticker, you could be quietly burning through tire life and fuel every single year. Stay with me, because once you understand how pressure really works, you'll never look at that PSI number the same way again.
1. The 32 PSI mistake. I used to think following the door sticker made me a responsible car owner. If it said 32 PSI, I set it to exactly 32. I checked it every month and felt proud of being consistent. Then one day I noticed the outer edges of my tires were wearing down much faster than the center. That confused me because I wasn't driving aggressively. What I learned changed everything. The number on the door jamb is designed for a worst-case scenario, meaning a fully loaded vehicle at highway speeds. Most of us drive alone or with one passenger, not 5 adults in a packed trunk. When you run lower pressure in a lightly loaded car, the sidewalls flex too much and push weight toward the shoulders. Over time, those edges wear prematurely. It happens slowly, so you don't notice until the damage is done. I wish someone had explained this earlier, because it would have saved me thousands of miles of tire life and a lot of frustration. 2. Sticker versus sidewall truth. The next thing that surprised me was the difference between recommended pressure and maximum pressure. I always thought anything above the door sticker meant I was overinflating the tire. That isn't true. Every tire has a maximum cold pressure molded into the sidewall, often somewhere around 44 to 51 PSI for passenger vehicles. That number shows the structural limit the tire can safely handle. Running 40 PSI in a tire rated for 51 PSI is not dangerous or excessive. Overinflation only happens when you exceed the sidewall maximum. Understanding that changed how I thought about air pressure completely. The door sticker is about minimum safe pressure for maximum load, not ideal wear for everyday driving. When your car isn't heavily loaded, slightly higher pressure can help the tread sit flatter and reduce shoulder wear. The key is staying under the sidewall limit and adjusting gradually. Once I understood that distinction, I stopped fearing higher PSI and started using it as a tuning tool.
3. The 6 PSI experiment. After learning all this, I didn't jump to extremes. I increased my pressure by about 6 PSI above the sticker recommendation and paid close attention. I tracked tread wear, ride comfort, and fuel economy over several weeks. What I noticed first was steering response felt sharper. The car seemed more direct and predictable in corners. Then I checked the tread and saw something I hadn't seen before: even wear across the entire surface. The shoulders weren't disappearing anymore. Fuel economy improved slightly too, which makes sense because higher pressure reduces rolling resistance. When a tire flexes less, it wastes less energy as heat. That small efficiency improvement adds up over thousands of miles. I'm not telling you to inflate blindly. I'm saying test within safe limits and observe your results. That experiment taught me tire pressure isn't a fixed rule. It's something you can fine-tune. And honestly, I wish I had tried this years earlier. 4. Heavier cars, bigger problem. 2026 update. Something else most drivers overlook today is how much heavier modern vehicles have become. Hybrid systems, larger wheels, panoramic roofs, and advanced safety structures all add weight. Even if your car doesn't feel heavy, that extra mass changes how the tire behaves. I noticed this especially after upgrading to a newer model with bigger wheels. The same PSI that worked on my older car didn't feel quite right anymore. Heavier vehicles create more load on the tire during braking and cornering, which increases sidewall flex if pressure is too low. Add shorter sidewalls from larger rims, and you have less margin for error. Slight underinflation now causes faster shoulder wear than it did years ago. Even changing tire brands can affect ideal pressure because construction varies. Two tires with the same size can react differently at identical PSI. That's why copying someone else's number rarely gives perfect results for your own vehicle and driving habits. Wait to the last point. I'll give a smart solution. If this is already changing how you think about tire pressure, take a second and subscribe. Small knowledge shifts like this can save you serious money over time, and most drivers never hear it explained this clearly. 5. Temperature and TPMS myth. One lesson I learned the hard way involves temperature. Tire pressure changes about 1 psi for every 10 degrees of temperature difference. That means the pressure you set in summer will drop when winter arrives. I used to ignore seasonal changes, assuming my tires were fine because the car felt normal. In reality, they were running several PSI lower than intended. Always check pressure when the tires are cold, ideally first thing in the morning before driving. Heat from driving increases internal pressure and can give you a misleading reading. And here's the part many people misunderstand. The TPMS warning light is not a maintenance reminder. It typically activates only when pressure drops significantly below recommended levels. By the time that light appears, uneven wear may already be happening. The system is designed for emergencies, not optimization. Regular manual checks with a reliable gauge are still necessary if you care about tire longevity and performance. 6. Braking power secret. I always assumed softer tires meant better grip because more rubber touched the road. That sounds logical, but it isn't the full story. When pressure is too low, the sidewalls flex excessively under braking. That flex causes the tread blocks to move around instead of staying firmly planted. The result can be longer stopping distances and less precise steering feedback. After adjusting my pressure slightly higher, I noticed the car felt more stable during sudden stops. It didn't dive or squirm as much. The steering also felt more connected, especially in quick lane changes. Proper pressure helps maintain a consistent contact patch that stays stable under load. It's not about making the ride harsh or inflating to the maximum. It's about reducing unnecessary flex so the tire can work efficiently. If your car feels vague during braking or cornering, pressure might be part of the issue. A careful adjustment can noticeably improve control and confidence. 7. How to find your perfect PSI. The best approach I've found is simple and safe. Start with the door sticker recommendation as your baseline. Then increase pressure gradually in small increments, about 2 psi at a time, staying well below the sidewall maximum. Drive normally for a few weeks and monitor tread wear across the surface. If the center begins wearing faster than the edges, reduce slightly. If the edges still wear faster, increase slightly. Pay attention to steering feel, ride comfort, and fuel economy. Keep notes if you want to be precise. There isn't one universal perfect PSI because every driver has different habits, climates, and loads. What works for your neighbor may not be ideal for you. Treat tire pressure as an adjustable setting rather than a fixed rule. When you fine-tune it responsibly, you extend tire life, improve efficiency, and make your car feel more confident on the road. Proper tire pressure isn't complicated, but it is misunderstood. Now that you know how to approach it intelligently, you're ahead of most drivers on the road. Click any of these videos on your screen, and I'll see you in a moment. You'll also want to check your tire pressure at the right time. Always measure PSI when the tires are cold, ideally in the morning before driving more than a mile or two. Heat builds pressure quickly, and even a short drive can increase PSI by 3 to 5 points, giving you a false reading. Seasonal changes matter too. For every 10-degree drop in temperature, tire pressure can decrease by about 1 PSI. That means when winter hits, your perfectly tuned setup in summer may suddenly be underinflated without you realizing it. If you regularly carry passengers, heavy cargo, or take long highway trips, adjust accordingly. More load may require slightly higher pressure within the safe range listed by your vehicle manufacturer.
On the other hand, if most of your driving is short city trips with minimal weight, you might not need to push pressure as high. The key is balance, stability without sacrificing comfort or uneven wear.